Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best, teach a system I invest. Never hidden, I ain't scared, ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing.
All right, welcome to the Party Pals, GRC Mafia. We are here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. Now, this is going to be a little bit different because it is our State of Study GRC. We try to do this every single quarter. And so far, this is, the complete year now. As far as the quarterly go, we try to do it at the beginning of the quarters, but of course, it's going to variate a little bit. Welcome to the Party Pal. I see Cam and Risky, Regine. We got PBO who popped in. Bam, GRC Mafia. So definitely the presentation itself is should be pretty quick. But I will open up the stage afterwards. I'll probably just drop the link now if you guys want to come back to the stage and hang out. You guys do not have to turn on your video. You could run microphone only. Just don't share anything you don't want to be public. If you happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord or contact@studygrc.org. Additionally, hop into our Discord server to share your social media profiles, connect with the rest of the community. I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in a moment as well. But then also, if you guys have any questions, even during the stream, even if it doesn't involve exactly what we're talking about, worst case scenario, drop it and we could circle back around to it. And you can also drop resources and so forth in the Discord server as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm the only one behind the glass today, so I'm going to try to keep up with chat the best I can. If I miss something, just let me know. I'm sure Rania, Cam, PBO will, let me know if I screw anything up. Also, put a 1 in the chat if you guys can even hear me. So we did have that one stream like a month ago where I talked me and B-Dubs talked for 45 minutes and we weren't even live. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So, State of Study GRC. Typically, we talk a little bit about metrics, what we've done, and then also the direction that we're kind of headed with it. And this one is a little bit different too, because you'll see some of these different updates. So I wanted to rehearse like our mission. We're definitely focused on the collaboration and community. That's one of the big reasons where we came from, is because like I started getting really into GRC. I noticed that there wasn't that much community or study groups out there. Everything was really confusing because like coming from it with no previous actual experience whatsoever. I didn't even have the Sec Plus at the time. It was very confusing to me, like looking at the CSF or the 53, trying to figure out the controls and the whole 9 yards. And that's also where PVO comes in, is that like he spent so much time in voice chat with me and several other people, just breaking it down for us and explaining it to us step by step and so forth. And there wasn't anything like that. And I still haven't really found anything like that either. That's one of the biggest aspects of where Study GRC came from, is as a study group and the collaboration and community aspect. So you have, we have tons of different people out there in the community, in the Discord server and so forth, that are more than willing to help you. You just got to ask. And if you, like, worst case scenario, you could reach out to me or somebody else, and, they'll, figure out who you may need to speak to. We got both B-dubs and PBO also that are, like tier 2 at this point. Bam, GRC Mafia B-dubs. And so what that actually means is helping and helping each other out, improving every day, developing resources. That's where like the lack of resources comes in, or the non-existent thereof. We tried some of the projects before, but then also just it's just difficult to see through all the smoke too these days. And spreading awareness. One of my big passions with it is working towards a more secure future for everybody. And it's going to take decades to do that, but that's where the education comes in, especially within the GRC realm. It's, translating that technical aspect and business side and so forth. And you could bring that into your personal life as well, because it's at all stages that it's implemented, really. And that's how we actually really make, a more secure future for everybody. Welcome to the party, pal. 5011. So one of the biggest things to mention here is that we've kind of identified some various issues as well. And so we've gone off course a little bit, as it mentions here. We're focused on that community and collaboration aspect. And especially with the live streams, it doesn't feel like it was previously. We had moved to YouTube before because people wanted it recorded and so forth. That was one of the biggest issues, was having a recording of such. But also, like, we would love to go off and do like some different workshops or mock interviews and things like that. But the biggest issue is we have an issue with getting engagement for that. I don't want to like put anybody down about it. Like, coming up on a live stream and, putting yourself out there is very stressful. I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it, but still, it's on the internet forever. You're live streamed. Who knows what could happen? I understand that. And so a lot of people just aren't comfortable coming up on the stage directly. And we typically have like the same group of people who do come up on the stage. But there's also a lot of people who haven't ever socialized with us, like in the Discord server in voice chat. That's where we derived from, is we started out in voice chat on Discord as a study group. And that's also where, welcome to the party, pal, Jamie. And so that's really the direction that we want to move again. And the biggest reason being is because we're more focused on the community and collaboration aspect and helping each other out and so forth than the accessibility aspect of it. We're not trying to grow numbers. We're not trying to, do content creation or otherwise. That's off the actual mission itself. And so one of the biggest things to let everybody know about is we are moving back to Discord. Not only does this save us a lot of time, because like scheduling the videos, doing the post-production with chapters and everything else is extremely time intensive. It definitely adds up. But then also, I just want to overall, not only myself, but other people to be more active in the Discord server as well. It allows that one-on-one, smaller groups, and then also it's not recorded or otherwise. So, people are more comfortable with that. Welcome to the party, pal, AB. So Thursday is going to remain the same. I do want to publish out a poll. I think what we should do is at least every, 6 months, we should go through and do a poll for the times for the meetings. Of course, we could hop into voice chat whenever we would like. But for our actual scheduled events, our primary weekly ones, which we have our Thursday and our Friday right now, I think we should go through and like do a community poll every 6 months to just gauge on what's working for, the majority of the community itself. Right now we have Thursdays at 6 p.m. and then Fridays at 11. Now, Fridays are going to be moved to Monday. To be honest, like, we don't have anybody else to run the Friday streams for 11 a.m. And so, Monday would work a lot better for me to run it. And we would also run that in the Discord server itself. And what I would like to do is actually do like a social meetup on Mondays at 11 in the Discord. That would replace our Friday AMA open stage, and then also have that as like an accountability call. So then at 11 o'clock, Central Time, we could hop into Discord. We could say, hey, yeah, this is what my plans are for the week. This is what I completed over the weekend. Touch base with everybody and so forth, and have that as a set meeting every single week. Yeah, and I'm marking questions there too, Jasmine. Yeah, if you guys have any questions throughout the presentation here, I'm already like over halfway through, but then I'll go through and pull that up. And then yeah, so also the other big thing is we have implemented a feedback portal. So I will probably pull that up at the end of this presentation, and you guys can take a look at it, but I'm going to go through and drop it in chat right now. And one of the biggest things with the feedback portal is it allows anybody to go through and add feedback. You can submit publicly, if you guys want a video request, if you guys are looking for particular content that you're not able to find or otherwise, anything, that you need assistance with, like that we could, make content for, or that we should do differently. You could post it there, and then it also has a public roadmap as well. And that's really important to me as well, because then that allows us to be more transparent about all of the different things that we are working on. And then we'll also have that change log that I want to start, when we complete something. So like if you guys request a video, then we could post that on our change log. Hey, we got this done. Here's the link to it, and so forth. And you guys could also subscribe to that as well. So I think it's a really awesome system. It looks really clean. It works well on mobile. And also on the back end, it has like project management, which is pretty beneficial, to be honest. All right. And then I think metrics was next. So we typically talk a little bit about the metrics aspect, and I'll also answer that question too, Jasmine. Let's see. Yeah, Cam. I think like having the accountability calls is a really good one, but then also like it works a lot better for me as well. So and the accountability channel that we implemented is working really well as well. I've gotten some great feedback on that. Now, if only I could lock myself into it. So some of the different metrics here. So I can post. So I put will drop brand kit in Discord. On YouTube, it allows us to like export like a brand kit that provides like all the metrics. I could go through and drop that in the Discord after the stream itself, but I just wanted to give you guys like a highlight. So the post 90 days, $62.75 in the ad revenue. I tried to pull the metrics for the memberships, but since we disabled that, it doesn't even give us access to it. And that was Jasmine's question here. So Jasmine was asking about the situation with the memberships. So what happened with that? I'll leave that up for a moment. All right. So I had a couple different people reach out because YouTube started using like dark patterns, deceptive patterns. So after you subscribe to a YouTube channel, if the channel has paid memberships enabled, then it still shows a subscribe button with a little plus sign. So it kind of tricks you into clicking on that button, making it look like you may not be subscribed to the channel yet. And then it prompts you for the paid memberships. It's kind of like a, not really something that we really align too well with. The paid memberships was actually our largest majority. We were making about $35, $40 a month on that between the 99-cent and $2.99 tier. But especially with like the deceptive patterns like that, trying to trick people into requiring membership. Like one of the people who reached out said that they really felt like that was like a requirement to watch the videos, that they couldn't subscribe without actually doing that. Let's see. And so that's the big reason why we ended up disabling the paid membership on YouTube. Now, I also went through and posted some of the primary like costs on here. Those are monthly except for the start.me. Like Restream, we actually just recently downgraded just because we're not going to be streaming as often anymore. One of the things with the live streams, though, is like if we have speaking engagements, we will still live stream those, though. Let's see. Hey, you should go check out that thread, by the way, Cam. I have been updating it as I go through it. for my movie watch list. But so the whole thing with the paid membership aspect, it does really actually help us out. Up to this point, like any offset, just comes out of my own pocket. I don't really like talking about it too much because I don't feel like it's that important, but hold on. Restream's trying to mess with me here. Disconnected me for a moment. Yeah, like it's a difficult topic for me. Like it's not going to stop our operations or otherwise. But it is also important for the organization itself that is incorporated as a nonprofit to be self-sustaining as well. And so with I'll announce, you see at the very bottom here, it says new items. That also has to do with the memberships. So the new stuff. So the website itself, if you guys look at our website, studygrc.org, I've been working on a new website on a staging environment. And so I had some issues pushing from the staging environment. So that should be live tonight. We're having issues with the DNS aspect of it. I did put up a temporary page for now. But it's going to be pretty much what we had before, kind of. But also I'm moving, what I'm slowly going to work on is we have like 350 videos and I'm trying to go through and take out the pauses and so forth. We already have the transcriptions and everything, and I want to provide those through our website as well. I very much run, ad blockers and so forth myself. And I also I feel it's important to provide those in another format as well. For anybody who wants to access those at a later time. And then also we'll have membership registration on the website. One of the main benefits with that will be like a digital badge. So you'll be able to like actually get a digital badge on the website that you could print out or otherwise. And then also, we may do some of the events through the website or otherwise. Now, one of the big things I want to position with that is that it is always going to be default $0. We will have paid membership options on the website, but it will always default to $0, and we will make it clear that there is zero paywalls. We are definitely anti-paywall. You're not going to have to pay for anything in order to access any of the content or things that we do. We have that embedded into our bylaws and so forth. So we'll make it very clear on those tier options that, hey, if you would like to, you could type in your price or otherwise, just to donate that amount or, whatever, but still default to it. And then I also mentioned the build.studygrc.org. That's our feedback portal, the public roadmap, the changelog. I mentioned that earlier. Definitely check that out though. Like we definitely want feedback, because one of the biggest things with that is with the feedback portal is it allows us to focus our attention and limited resources. So like if you guys submit a video that says, hey, I want a video that talks more about, the physical environment controls, whatever the numbers are from the 53, then we can reach out to PBO and say, hey, PBO, next Tuesday, would you mind talking about this? So that way we have a video, then we can send this individual this video and it's out there for anybody to watch and learn from. Or even if it's for us. Maybe you guys message us and, you ask something about like the CCSK or something like that. Then I could reach out to B-Dubs and say, hey, B-Dubs, would you mind making a quick 5-minute video about the CCSK that you did? And that's also where like the community aspect comes in. It's not that we have a problem with generating like the content creation aspect, but we definitely want to focus our attention on, what the community wants and needs. You guys can add comments onto other people's submissions. You can also go through and upvote the various submissions as well. And that's what we'll use to track like where we should focus our time the most. The more submissions, the better. Don't spam it. If you guys have, also I have it posted on the page there that if you guys would prefer to submit it anonymously, you could reach out to me on Discord. You could also email us at contact@studygrc.org. And then me or a member of the team can go through and add that to the feedback portal anonymously for you. We do have the registration required. Like you have to make an account on the feedback portal, just because like anti-bot, if it was just publicly open, then, some AI bots would just spam the thing out. Well, maybe B-dubs. We may call upon you to make some content. I mean, B-dubs has her own channel already too. So if somebody wants, a 5-minute, video about the CCSK or something, maybe B-dubs would be willing to, make a quick video on it. Welcome to the Party Pal, 8-bit. If I missed anything in chat, definitely let me know. And then that's pretty much the end of it, I believe. So really it comes down to just working together, the collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. It takes a lot of people to make a significant impact and difference. And especially when we talk about like a lot of the problems like, lack of communication with an organization, siloed departments and so forth, translating the technical aspect and like importance of like the risk side to stakeholders, talking to people even in our personal lives. Like it's a step-by-step ongoing project. I don't feel like any of these issues are ever going to, absolutely be resolved. The biggest thing is just making it less friction for everybody. So yeah. And B-Dub says, easily swayed by peer pressure to benefit the community. Yeah, and so I'll go ahead and drop the link for the stage if anybody would like to come up. If you guys have any questions or otherwise, I did answer that question earlier about the memberships. And yeah, community built, community driven. So I'll stick around for a moment. Definitely use that feedback portal though. That's going to be so useful. So that way all of us can just not only see the stuff on the roadmap and keep track of it, but then also so we can, start generating those, what the community is actually desiring as well. Yeah, and PBO says he's got the back, B-Dubs is back there for the videos. Yeah, and that's also like another thing too, is like for you guys who have been watching the streams, you guys know that like we started shouting out like some of the different awesome people in the community like Cam, Brews and Hacks, Cybersecurity Dojo. There's a lot of other creators that are out there. PBO goes live every Tuesday and does a bunch of other video content and so forth as well. Because that's really what started it all, was just the study group aspect. And lack of information and community that was out there. There's a lot of information out there. The hard part is trying to see through the smoke on what's valuable, what to spend your time on. And, trying to understand a lot of it too. Because like, I do love the NIST documents, but also it can be very confusing to just jump right into it. So that's like one of the things that really caught me at the early point when I started looking into everything, was like reading the NIST docs is great, but it doesn't do you very much good if you don't understand what the hell it's actually saying. And, it definitely a call to action on the Discord server. Like it's so valuable. We have so many different people in there with tons of information and knowledge and experience. And definitely leverage that. So that's one of the most valuable things I can see, because like pretty much any topic we know somebody throughout our networks that would be able to assist. Risky says, please do my interview for me and give me that new position. Yeah, and congratulations on the interview aspect too. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and then PBO is hopping in now. Welcome to the party, pal.
I'm glad you did the shout out for one so everybody can hear you.
Yeah, we had to steal that after me and Betos went live for 45 minutes and wasn't even streaming.
It probably was 20, but that was funny. I'm like, what are y'all doing? We're going live.
It was 45 minutes. We did an entire Friday stream. Me and B-Dubs just chit-chatting and didn't even realize we weren't live.
Shout out to me. I saved the day. I'm like, what are y'all doing? We're live streaming. Like, no, you're not. That is incorrect. Oh, I got B-Dubs back. If you're doing this video, I probably got it. There's very few things on this I don't have.
Yeah, and like Jamie here mentions, which, by the way, Jamie, post another invite to your server, like in our... it's going to block it, but post it in the Discord server and then I'll publish it as well. But yeah, just like Jamie mentions here, is that being silent instead of active could hit you in a bad way. The networking aspect is really important, but then also like, I think it's extremely important to get comfortable with asking questions and so forth. It's a really good environment within the Study GRC community, especially, and a lot of other ones out there to ask questions. Like if you're not asking questions, there's a problem. I come from a labor background, like union, where you just work as hard as possible and figure it out on your own. And this isn't that.
Facts.
What's up, Jamie?
Long time, man. How y'all been?
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. Been super busy over here in the PCI world and starting to get my head above water a little bit. So, yeah, thought I'd come in and say hello. I've been trying to catch back on and get back into a regular schedule here to see you guys and hang out with y'all.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
soon it should be easier because we'll start doing it in Discord. So,
Was that what today's message was about? I got in, I think, late.
oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, basically what it comes down to is like a lot of people aren't comfortable coming up on stage. We're more focused on community and collaboration than accessibility on like recordings. And so we're going to move it back to Discord just so more people are comfortable with it. Like we would like to do like the mock interviewing for an example, but that's not something most people, like 99% of people don't really want to do that on a live stream.
Mhm.
So
Really? You think I agree with you? I'm so comfortable. And shout out to Cam. He was an excellent interviewee, and I was the interviewer. But I could get that. I put a little pressure on him, as the kids would say. I put a little pressure on him.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like live streaming is stressful. Like, yeah, I fought it. Like PVO was telling me, PVO, Rania, so many different people were telling me for like 6 months, oh, we should go to YouTube. We should go to YouTube. And I was like, no. It has its benefits because of the recordings and so forth.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. I think those benefits are helpful. People find the resources I think that you have are valuable and helpful. And granted, it may not be the only way that people want to interact or digest some of the information and services that you have, but it's definitely a beneficial one. I'll say it that way.
Yeah, and we'll still be publishing videos from time to time, and like the speaking engagements will still be live streamed, just like the community meetings would be in Discord.
So is this your last Friday before you push it to Monday?
Oh no, we're going to be in Discord tomorrow night.
Yeah, but you said you're doing one lunch and learn this Friday, then you're gonna push those to Monday. You're not gonna do Fridays anymore.
Correct. Yeah. So no more Friday. We're gonna cancel this Fridays, and that's gonna be on Monday at 11.
You canceling this Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'll probably still be in Discord, but I'm not gonna stream it.
Are you doing an official meeting this Friday? Or you just in general in Discord?
Technically, it's not an official meeting. We're gonna schedule the official meetings on Mondays.
The reason I'm asking is I might do a lunch and learn on Friday, so I might take that spot.
Well, then schedule the Friday one at 11 then, at noon Eastern.
That's what I'm gonna do. I just didn't want to step on your toes. You're so nice to me.
Oh my gosh, PVO, just schedule it and then make sure you drop the links.
I will. You know me, I'll be doing it like 4 hours ahead of time. I'll be like, yeah, I'm going ahead and do it. I'll do some quick slides out of ChatGPT.
What about you, Jamie? You got your video series done for the 4.01?
No, but I do want to get back on it. So actually, I just signed up to get my ISA certification yesterday. So I'm going to be on that journey. So ISA, internal security audit for PCI. So I go at the end of the month to go get tested, and hopefully I'll have that certification. So for anybody looking into that, I'll be taking that. And if you're interested in just knowing what some of the questions or the direction that the spirit of that training is going in, I'll definitely help answer what I can. And but hopefully that's a benefit. I went to the PCI conference not last week, the week before, and that was definitely encouraging. And so then, yeah.
Well, and
man,
while I have you here too, what actually draws you to the PCI side? Like, I understand it's hot, but like, it just seems like such a high risk environment, and it's scary. It's intimidating, I should say.
I'll be honest with you. So here's my initial whatever to that is I hate PCI. Okay.
Oh God.
I hate PCI. Now, having said that, there's a bunch of qualifiers behind it. Okay. This is the part where I get a little passionate from. So this is where the passionate part comes in. I'll unlock that piece right now because it's you two guys asking you asking this in front of both of you. But so I was around before PCI was PCI, when it used to be called the Visa and MasterCard Data Standards, right? And when PCI initially kicked off, there were, we didn't understand the environment the way we do now. And so there was a lot of, man, it breaks my heart because there were a lot of mom and pop restaurants that I used to service back in the early 2000s, late 90s. And it was the restaurant and business that I was primarily concerned with. So it was in the hospitality industry, right? I used to install point of sale cash registers for restaurants. And the punishment against a restaurant that was breached was so high. It used to be like $150,000 for the first transaction, and then I think it was like 15,000 for every transaction after that. This is just transaction, not the actual breach as a whole. So if a breach occurred and there were like, let's just say 150 transactions, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be 150,000 for the first transaction and 15 times 149,000. It's ridiculous, right? So there were a few mom and pop shops that had to close down because of that. And they didn't understand what PCI meant. When PCI initially introduced their requirements, they were very good at saying, you need to protect it. They weren't very good in saying exactly how to protect it. So it'd be like, okay, should we go buy a router with this type of security encryption on it or one with this one in it? Should we go to our local CompUSA or do we need to go to, some bigwig somewhere else? They would never tell you that. And so it was like mudding around in the fog trying to figure out how this worked. Meanwhile, mom and pop restaurants were getting closed down left and right. And so that's what initially brought my interest in PCI. So I used to speak out against
mom and pops.
Yes. So I used to speak out against PCI back in the day, not because I didn't believe in what they were doing, but because they were too vague in what businesses should do. And I couldn't stand that. Like, I'm like, and the restaurants would take on a hefty amount of the burden. I've come to learn more that the acquirer does definitely take on all the risk because they're the ones who transact the payments. But it's not to say that the merchant or the restaurants in this case didn't have their own acceptable risks. And being that these were mom and pop places, these were just regular folks just trying to make a living for themselves and hopefully have something to leave over afterwards. And these were places that I had gone to as a child to eat with my family. And so to know that they were getting shut down because of this, it was a little personal, if that makes sense. And so anyway, fast forward some years later, and believe it or not, it was my wife who signed me up for a class to say, I think you need to apply yourself better. And I was like, really? Okay. So signed up for a class on PCI, and then the rest, that's where I'm at now. So bless her heart for thinking. Yeah. Bless her heart for
that's also
doing
like
that.
what I've heard from some other people too, is, you get into it because of the actual like reward aspect. It's rewarding to help, especially these businesses that would literally go bankrupt and not, they wouldn't be able to pay their employees and they'd go out of business and so forth. And I think like the fines now, isn't it like something like $5,000 to start on like PCI?
Yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be, but
yeah, they kind of thought about that after the fact. They're like, maybe this 150K is a little much.
Yeah, and there are weird like so the acquirer can what's the word I'm looking for? They can push down certain weird rules, right? So like they can say like they can raise your percentage of transactions, not the amount of transactions that you get, but like the percentage that you pay on those transactions. They increase those for like the first year, and then for the next 5 to 10 years, depending on the acquirer, you'll be on a sort of short leash on that. And then if you don't have any breaches within X amount of years, they'll get you back onto the regular program or even a preferred program so that you have lower fees per transaction. So for those of you who don't know, anytime a business takes credit card transactions, it's not like we just use our credit card and they tell us, oh, it's $5 and we just pay $5. No, there's actually $5+ on that. A lot of times the merchant eats that cost though, because the cost of taking credit cards is insignificant to the fees that they generate when you have so many, right? Because think about it. We live in a world where credit cards are everything. And if you're a business that doesn't accept credit cards, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So
that makes sense. And that's also where like the whole PCI area, like I feel like it's still quite a bit of demand there, but like it's such a high risk environment aspect. And that, like I shared this blog in chat, why PCI DSS isn't enough from B-dubs. I'll put it in this back chat as well if you wanted to look at it. Because I mean, the downside is the checklist mentality. But yeah, like I found this article insightful. I've looked a little bit at the PCI before, but financial and healthcare are like two of the different realms I prefer not really working in. Like they are demanding, they are important, like especially healthcare getting hit so often and so much. But like, it's just, you know, always the budget concerns and, you know, so many regulations on that. Like I've just heard so many war stories, especially in the financial industry for like PCI, especially. You know, that it's just like, yeah.
And
so,
space. Go ahead, Jamie.
What was
the space. No, I was just joking. I tell them come over to the federal space once we open back up. You can get some government money. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jamie.
No. I you know, it definitely is. It definitely is, and it can really hurt your brain, your self-esteem and stuff. And there's so much controls depending on what SAC you're in, and a lot of the organizations that I like to work with are definitely the level 1 merchants. So I work in a bunch of the corporate environments, right? And it can be very daunting. I will tell you guys, if you're looking to get in PCI, definitely take some project management courses, classes, have project management skills, because honestly, that's where a majority of the skills that you'll call upon in PCI come from, or your project management. In my opinion, like when it comes to the requirements, like every cybersecurity framework has some sort of, you know, guiding, what, you know, like the requirements for us, there's controls in some of the other places, but really the project management work is what you'll be leading your PCI stuff with. And you can look at your PCI requirements in the documentation every day. So it's like an open book test. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then also, I just remembered here too. Let me pull this off. Yeah. So we will be bringing this to an end here in a moment. But also, while I have you here, before last time we were talking about these comics.
Oh, check that out. Are those the not Red Diaries?
Yeah, so these are the ones that come from like Anti-Siphon Black Hills that I was telling you about before.
Yeah.
And so you need to get a hold of me on Discord so I can send these to you. So they're all about like cybersecurity, and yeah, they're really good comics. I'm not really that much of a comic person, but I think you'd really enjoy them. So definitely get with me after the stream.
I will.
I've had the set of duplicates that I have setting aside for you.
Freaking gnarly, man! I'm excited.
I got a question for Jamie.
Yeah.
This probably was 10 years ago. A friend of mine had a restaurant, and his buddy set up their network. He got hacked, and I think it was Visa and them said they made him spend $25,000 to get a full assessment to figure out what happened. And if he didn't, like you said, he couldn't connect credit cards, so he couldn't. His business was going, so he was really struggling with that. And the other thing he was struggling, his cousin was a network guy. He had an open network, so he's like, I might sue my cousin. So, kind of what like you said, your thoughts on that is from a, and he, like you said, he's a small restaurant. He had it for 30 years, and he did everything for the first 10. But he got to a certain level. But like you said, it was a restaurant. He didn't really have a big technology background, a technology staff, like you said. So, kind of elaborate on that a little more. I thought that was real. He let me read the $25,000 setup while I was eating steak, and it was real interesting when they dug in, and you can see the findings and all the things that wasn't set up quite properly.
Yeah, see, that's the challenge. That's what I'm talking about. So that's where the initial outrage that I had came from, is that these restaurateurs, they know restaurants, they know food, They know people. They don't know technology. And so for you to put these outland, and I get that you need to make a point with, a burden of financial impact to them because of the responsibility that you have now as the acquirer, that you don't get that, and customers' data. So don't get me wrong. I also am an advocate for protection of customer and consumers' data. Like, I think that's important too. But this isn't a case of it falls onto one or the other. It's like a triforce where everybody has to do their part, right? So the acquirer needs to have a piece, the merchant needs to have a piece, and then, like, depending on how the acquirer, like the transmitter, not the transmitter, the like the credit card. So the bank, Visa, MasterCard, and then the merchant, restaurant A, we'll just say that for now, right? All three of them, there needs to be a perfect balance, as best as can be a perfect balance between that. Throwing a hefty fine on an organization, it's just, I get it, but it's ridiculous at the same time. Can that make sense? Like, can I say, I understand that you have to impose a heavy fine, but I also get that they shouldn't have to have that either. Like, both exist in my world. Like,
I think, yeah, I was just going to say, I think one of the big issues with it is, like, a lot of these organizations, they don't have the means or the understanding of the importance aspect.
Well, let me chime in on that. And like you said, Hyman, and I've been struggling with this for years. And people think I'm snobbish.
snobbish.
That's why I don't really do business with small companies, because they don't have the technical and maturity to handle that type of security. Now we get a big fine, and I'm responsible for it. That's why I try to work with bigger companies that have infrastructure. But
right,
and that's why I push back. And a lot of people talk about distance sticks. And like you said, is if you're a small restaurant or small business, they should tell you this is the setup. This is the router you need to set up. This is how you need to set it up. This is how you need to sting it, or whatever your settings are, to kind of help the restaurant out or help the small business out.
Exactly. Now, I will say I'm a big fan of something I've been noticing. It's not new, but I'm just noticing it more for whatever reason recently. I've seen where an acquirer or bank will offer a monthly fee. And I'm not a big fan of the service charges. I hate the whole monthly service thing going on, but I have been seeing like a monthly PCI service fee of some kind where they install this software, and then the software basically runs all the different necessary pieces that PCI needs. So for example, let's just say antivirus scanning, right? So antivirus scanning needs to occur, and we need to have a complete a year's worth of scanning for the next year to be compliant with PCI. Now the acquirer will install this software, and it'll take care of that. It'll scan every year. Now, also because they do their own hosted payment, that takes you out of like about 200 different controls in PCI and leaves you down to 30 that you have to manage on site. So that's another way to get past it. So these are things where I think the acquirer needs to come in, because they gain the most profit from this too. Okay. So an acquirer needs to come in for these mom and pop shops and be like, look, because we're going to work with credit cards, I made this unpopular opinion. I don't think the merchant needs to pay for this, because this service would be something that protects the consumer, right? And so there's many consumers' data that's getting breached. It's like one of those things. It's like it's an insurance policy. So the acquirer should be coming into these businesses, since they want to do business and collect payments, and say, we're going to run this scan. We're going to make sure we're going to make sure from day one that you are set up, good to go. You are PC compliant from day one as best as we can. And then we're going to take care of your compliancy throughout the rest on all the stuff that we can control for the service fee. And then here's the things that you need to be in charge of. And all you need to do is check this out at this frequency. So if that means setting up an alert on your phone, an email alarm, whatever that case is, go do that. And we need to break it down so it's as simple for you as possible. Click this button on this machine this time. Make sure you have these reports generated and saved onto your desktop. I don't know, whatever the case is, but it does need to be that simple.
I think they like money more.
I agree, but the thing is that they don't do that. They lose out on that money because then that money doesn't come to them because it gets siphoned out. They lose the customer, and this is the one thing we always tell people in the credit card industry is like when you get breached, it's not so much that you've lost your consumer's data, even though that's a big deal. It's that you've lost trust, and gaining trust back is man, it's a Herculean effort. You know what I'm saying? So to gain trust back.
So does the PCI, do they have a separate requirement for notification outside of the state requirements, or do they just follow like the state requirements?
No, not even that. So that's the weird part for PCI, right? PCI is not any type of federally mandated program. PCI is straight up just the credit cards, the major brands coming together. So PCI isn't held to just America either. PCI is worldwide.
Yeah. Do they have a requirement though that states like, oh, if you have 200 people that get breached, you have to send out notification for PCI in particular, or do they just follow like the local law?
You know what? That's a good question. There's nothing in the PCI requirements that says that.
That's actually kind of surprising because my understanding is if you want to process the cards, then you need to go through and agree to that and follow the rules. And if you don't, then they, fine you, they revoke it, whatever. And I would assume that they would have some type of requirement in that documentation that would say, hey, if this many people get breached, then you have to send out a notification.
Well, you got to send a notification to them. I don't know if you need to notify your customers. The reason I know that because at the state, and Jaime knows that, people pay their tax debts with credit cards. So we had to follow PCI. And that was my next question for that is a lot of times the new vendors from PCI are in the cloud, right? So you just upload you through the cloud and hopefully that cloud will handle, like Jaime said, 90% of the stuff in the cloud. And you just have to handle the 10% you have on site to batch it up before you send it to the cloud. But I'm about to look that up because when we had to notify like you said, Visa card, but I don't think we had to notify the customers. And
I just find that interesting.
From a PCI perspective, there isn't. But I imagine from a Visa MasterCard contract type situation, you would have to there. Because we all get it, right? Like we all get a notification when our data has been breached on any of our services, right? Like
I've got one breach notification in my life.
Really?
Yes.
You shouldn't have said that.
Seriously? Oh, really? Chris, I got sweaters older than Chris. Shit. I mean, I don't. Seriously, I've had about 10. So no, I had about 10.
Oh my god,
dude! I collect them like Pokemon cards nowadays.
Even before like I started getting into everything, like I would still swap out my email addresses like every year. I mean, I changed my phone number on a regular basis, like all kinds of different like privacy aspects, and I think that's what kind of helped. Like now I do pay for like some of the data collection, removal services like Delete Me and so forth, which I think also helps even more now. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's what's kind of helped with that. And it's not like I'm like buying things off of Temu or anything.
Yeah, same here. But I mean, we're talking about the credit reporting agency getting breached.
Facts.
Yeah.
OPM, which is the security thing for the government, got breached. So if they had the background check. So go ahead, Chris.
Oh yeah. Also, like every vehicle I've purchased, the whole 9 yards. Like I don't pull credit unless I absolutely like. There was like one time, and that was it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I mean, I'm scared of it.
Good for you. Good for you. I hope. Never mind. Good for you is all I'm going to say. Okay, and I mean it.
Chris, I got a question real quick off topic.
Yeah.
Did you put Thunder Punch PBO in my name? I didn't put that in there.
Of course I did.
Okay, I'm like, how the hell I get
about money and corporate and everything else? And I was like, oh, Thunder Punch PBO coming out.
I'm like, somebody hacked me. I'm like, how the hell? My fault, Jamie. I was like, go ahead.
Yeah, I find it interesting that they don't necessarily have anything, but like you said, they may have like the direct stuff with like Visa and so forth with those like agreements and not built into PCI itself.
Yeah, they're not. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I hope the volume's a little bit better, Risky. Yeah, if I pull the microphone like more than like 2 inches away, then it does mess with the volume. So it should be a little bit better. but I think we could bring this to an end. We could always hop in Discord too, but also like PCI is huge. Let us know when you do start making content on your channel again, or if you want to come back up and do another conversation about PCI and so forth. Like there's a lot of people that are interested in it. So
Okay. I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, you guys, if you're wondering, stick around with Study GRC and Chris here. Chris has been an amazing proponent for open learning, communication, and sharing knowledge. And man, yeah, this is an invaluable resource here, y'all. So stick with it.
community built, community driven. What about you, PBO? Any final last words or otherwise? What about your streams? Are you streaming Friday?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Friday. Come start doing my risk assessment. That seems to be everybody has questions, and once again, shout out to Steph. We did the one inside the Discord. I really enjoyed that. So just kind of building on that, because one of the basic things you need to do is do a risk assessment of any software you bring it into your org, even if it's at the high level. Are they doing encryption? What type of database? And now half of them's in the cloud. Then Azure or Azure, AWS, or Google. So you still got to vet it and make sure they're doing the right things. Because if not, if you get hacked, you could be considered negligent because you didn't do your due diligence. So
yeah. And so Friday at noon?
Yep, lunch and learn. I got to check my schedule though. Now you mentioned sometimes people be putting meetings on my lunchtime.
PBO will be doing something on Friday.
Yes.
Which time zone?
When?
Eastern. I'm Eastern. So I usually try to go noon, which is 11 Chris's time.
Yeah, no worries, Space Tacos. I'll recap everything real quick before we do bring it to an end. But yeah, basically the gist of it is less of a community aspect with the live streams itself. We want to kind of take a step back, bring it back to Discord. So our Thursday streams are now going to be held inside of the Discord server in the voice chat. We have an event already set up for that you guys can click on and get notified in Discord for. But then also our Friday AMA is going to be moved to a Monday like social and accountability call. It's going to be the same time on Monday though, at 11 a.m. Central Time in the Discord server. We'll still do the speaking engagements. If we have speakers or otherwise, we'll still live stream those or, you know, other video content. We also implemented this new feedback form here, or this feedback portal that also has like a public roadmap and so forth. So it's build.studygrc.org, and it allows you to go through and add a submission. I'm not even signed in, so it won't let me. But we do have the registration required for anti-bot, but you can register with that. You can submit feedback requests. We have like Discord, we have Coffee Mafia, we have, you know, all kinds of different stuff there, general feedback, content creation. And then we also have the public roadmap here too, that will show the in progress, what we have planned and what's completed. We'll also publish updates to the changelog. Like if you guys request a video, then we'll publish that under the changelog when that's complete, and you could subscribe to that as well. And one of the biggest things with this is that you can go through and vote up what you think we should work on. So that way we have a better idea of like what the community is demanding and what would be useful. But you can also add comments. So if somebody says, hey, I'd like a video, you know, about 853, and then, you know, you could comment and say, yeah, I'm really confused about this or that, you know, in regards to this. So that way when we go through, you know, it's more refined and so forth. And then we could just, you know, throw it to PPO and say, hey, bam, PPO, time to make another video among your 835 plus videos.
I already got it. I don't need to make it. I already got it in the house.
PBO, you remember in Living Color when they were like, where's my card? Where's my card? And they're like, bam! Remember Home Shopping Brothers Network?
Yeah.
That's what you made me think of when you're like, I got a video. Where's that video at? Bam!
I got a video. Boom.
Yeah, and no worries, Space Talkers, about Friday. So I'll probably still hang out in Discord on Friday. PBO is going to most likely be streaming on Friday, though, around noon Eastern. But we'll start doing the Monday accountability and social call at 11 a.m. on Monday. And I'll add that Discord event right after later today as well. But I think that pretty much recaps it. Like, we're bringing it back to the Discord aspect for that more community and collaboration, make people more comfortable. We could, you know, hopefully have more success with people doing like the mock interviewing. There is a recruiter that I was speaking to that would be willing to donate a couple hours a month. So maybe we can like add that to like the Coffee Mafia scheduler. And if you guys are unfamiliar, we have the Coffee Mafia, which is like a huge thing. So that is a 100% zero cost one-on-one. We have 8 volunteers right now. You literally just go to the page that's dropping in chat there. You select what time works best for you, and then it'll automatically select somebody out of the volunteer group based on availability. And then you just put in like, hey, I want help with mock interviewing or resume review, or I have questions about this, that, or whatever. And if they don't know something, then they know who to get you in touch with so somebody can help you out with it. And it's completely $0. We want nothing in exchange. You just go book it. There's no limitations to it. So yeah, definitely check that out for the Coffee Mafia. And so like, I was thinking about maybe making a scheduler for that or something along those lines. Yeah, come on, Brews and Hacks. Get your game together. It's ironic you're here because I already have your advertisement scheduled right when we end. But yeah, so that's pretty much the rundown, the recap of everything. So we'll catch you guys in Discord. Thank you guys for coming up and so forth. We definitely need more PCI content, Jamie. Come on.
I will help out. Thank you.
Yeah, and also Jasmine, yeah, I noticed that there's a lot of the AI regulations going on in the EU right now. There was another one too, not just the AI Act, but there was another one that they like just recently pushed, or I think towards the end of the year they're supposed to be coming out with it.
In the EU?
Yeah, another one in regards to AI. So, and then there's also another thing in the EU where they're trying once again to do client-side scanning. So, yeah, for, anti-encryption.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like the 4th attempt that they've tried. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping in. We'll catch you guys in Discord. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your week. Catch you guys in Discord, GRC Mafia.
Kia ora, friends, and welcome to Brews and Hacks, where cybersecurity meets approachability. I'm Ryan. I broke into cybersecurity about 4 years ago, and I am so excited to share all the things I learned along the way, as well as all the things I'm learning each and every day. On this channel, we'll be diving deep into the world of cybersecurity, exploring topics like penetration testing, threat intelligence, vulnerability management, and so much more. From tutorials and walkthroughs to analysis and insights, we'll be covering it all in a way that's easy to understand and engaging. My goal is to help build a culture of security awareness where everyone can feel empowered and confident in securing themselves and their organizations from cyber threats. I also homebrew beer. That's where the name came from. We're all about cybersecurity here on this channel, but if you are interested, I do have a bunch of recipes on my GitHub repo, so go check it out. Anywho, I try to upload a video on the 1st and 15th of each month. So until next time, here's to hoping that code input stays as sanitized as my homebrewing gear. Hack responsibly, my friends. Kia ora.
Do you love cybersecurity, GRC? Do you like analogies stretched further than my hairline? Then do I have a channel for you. Hi, my name is Cameron, also known as Cam, and I want to invite you to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel at CamGoddess, where I dive into various topics, frameworks, terms, and foundational knowledge within the broad categories of cybersecurity and GRC. I'm passionate about these things and about taking complex concepts and making them more easily understandable, more easily defined. Everyone is a nerd about something, so come, nerd, learn, and grow with me.
Want to actually learn cloud security? And I mean, not just pass a test, but actually learn how to defend and attack real environments? Cyber's one-click labs let you exploit real AWS Lambda functions, escalate IAM privileges, and respond to incidents in live environments. You'll learn how to securely configure cloud resources, create your own custom incident response playbooks, and learn how to pen test cloud infrastructure to find real vulnerabilities before attackers do. Visit cyber.com to join thousands of cloud security practitioners and a growing community, and start your first hands-on lab for free today. Or use coupon code StudyGRC for 10% off our premium memberships. That's cybr.com.
Are you looking to break into GRC or cybersecurity, or simply level up your career? Hi, I'm Brittany White, better known as B-Dubs. Discover insights and actionable advice at brewhite.io, where I drop a
All right. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Catch you guys in Discord.